Understanding programming comes in three layers. So the basis of everything, the foundations, are what even is the realm of possibility. What exactly is happening inside the electron pachinko machine that causes it to do tricks? So imagine programming is like Minecraft. This level is about what the world of Minecraft is even about. How do you interact with the world? How do you move, jump, dig? What even are the verbs of Minecraft? What exists in the world and where is it? And how to get to it? And what to do with it once you get to it? You don't really need to know that much about this level, right? The foundations of Minecraft to start punching trees, but like the world is deep and you'll figure it out as you kind of like go around through it. So similarly in programming, like what do you expect from a computer? How do you present an objective to the computer in the correct way to produce the desired results? How does a computer really imagine numbers, and how does it do arithmetic? What does that mean for how we can interact with them, right? Because like computers do a lot of math for us and show it to us as like colors on the screen. Everything that is happening on the screen is some kind of math, some kind of arithmetic done on binary numbers. So a little bit of understanding of binary and hexadecimal numbers and what it actually means to be working in a 16-bit environment can really level up your Pico-8 game. Also, how does a computer conceive of the picture plane we're trying to paint in its artificial head? You know, what is the coordinate system? You know that. If you haven't learned that before, at least you have some idea of what the coordinates of our display buffer are and how to like draw circles and squares and rectangles and whatever. So knowing math and physics and some general purpose equations falls into this category of fundamental knowledge that props up everything you build up on top of it. So like in the previous episode, if you're getting hung up on understanding the math of the sine and cosine, if like I broke your brain a little bit when that stuff came up, the important thing to remember is that we solved the problem of coming up with a tool to help us poke in a circle pattern around a location on the coordinate system. And if you ever need that kind of behavior or algorithm, you know where to go to find it. You can just kind of dig it out of that little script that goes along with the episode. So trust me when I say that if you understand that part, you can modify its behavior without fully understanding what it is doing on the basic math level. And it totally helps to understand the math, don't get me wrong, but barring that, having a clear idea of inputs and outputs and a vague idea of what's going on inside will suffice. If you know how to use a function and what to expect from it, how it does what it does may not be as important right now. So that brings us to like the first above ground level of understanding. The ground floor. This is awareness and knowledge of different possible functions in the Pico-8 API and tools at your disposal. This is where I started you off. I just threw you into the shallows of typing things and feeling out how the computer responds. Type these magic words and this magic punctuation and this thing happens. So here you're Minecraft Steve and I taught you how to punch trees and dig a hole in the ground for overnight, and maybe I've hinted at how to make sticks. But now we're gonna make a workbench and maybe even a wood axe. So this is Minecraft Steve's first awakening to the basic loop of this world. And it's just a thin veneer of understanding. And once you get the hang of the tools, we can take it up a notch and talk about the next level, which is the different patterns of functions in use as common ways of solving common problems, using general principles and concepts to invent new behaviors inside of the game engine. So this is all of the crafting possibilities and everything you built in your game of Minecraft, up to and including all of the redstone shenanigans. You may not remember all of the recipes all the time, but you might remember that something is possible, and then check the wiki for the actual how-to. And just like in Minecraft, In programming too, you gotta make a crappy mud hut before you can build your magnificent, fully automated hell mining operation. So moving away from Minecraft, this is where putting ideas together to come up with code architecture to support your ideas comes in. Knowing how to subdivide your problem or your vision into component problems and ideas that can be expressed in code. Here too falls the honing of the craft of programming, and programming of video games in particular, with their convoluted necessity and complication of needing to continually simulate frames in a real-time animation. So this is where we get to the methods for processing events, implementing state machines, tables and data organization patterns, AI, pathfinding, interface implementation and design, etc. You're not the first person programming ever. Other people have come before you and solved a lot of your problems. So one step in front of another, you need to collect wisdom at all of these different levels of understanding, like, as you work. It's not just a matter of like reading all of the documentation. Programming is an art. Programming is a craft. There is some like things you need to wrap your mind around in all three of these levels to be able to produce things. So ground floor, you attain understanding by following along with the typing out of the tutorials and getting the hang of the names of all the functions and what they do and ways of writing conditional statements and loops and whatnot. Getting this level of understanding is easy and straightforward. You just read the documentation. Eventually you'll be able to read through code and sort of be able to understand what it's doing line by line. Both the next level and the foundations are more difficult to get to really understand. Understanding will come only as you work and think up of more and more ambitious systems to create. Just note that you're building up skills on all three levels at once and leveling up the kinds of things you can imagine and build in the process. So, Minecraft Steve is building with a purpose, maybe working with friends, thriving in a monument-studded community. So like that's our game jam or whatever at the end of the project for the Hivelings to sort of like work together and put together. So games are weird because you have to turn different parts of your brain on and off and apply them in turn on the problem at hand. You have both this like artistic side and the technical side, and it is easy to get lost on one side or the other and forget to solve the whole problem of this highly technical art form. So like coding is complex and requires one kind of focus and one kind of engineering rigor, while deeper conversations about aesthetics, themes, ideas, what we're communicating, require a whole different kind of headspace. When the conversation starts to include questions like whether a given mechanic or system is the best way to convey the theme and mood one is going for, the complexity of the artwork kind of like spreads squarely to both proverbial sides of the proverbial brain.